It's about to go down. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend Morning Show is back Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean, that's me.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
Baby, tap in.
We the worst records, baby. We about to create a perfectly horrible song. Y'all know I've been in the gym, and now all I wear is tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts. Yes, I do. Michael Sean wears tight shirts every day. I wear tight shirts because I'm working out some. And if I wear the right size, you won't see none of my little cuts in my arms or whatever. Short sleeve tight shirts in any type of weather. People talking trans when they see me in the street.
Your shirt's so tight, we can see your heartbeat.
Man, clown me if you want, I'm sticking to my guns. And when December comes, it's gonna be fun. You can crack jokes and treat me like a jerk, but one day you'll see my six-pack right through my shirt. And even if I wanted to, I just can't stop. I just might rock an Ezekiel crop top.
Whoa.
What? Did I take it too far? What?
Yes.
Whatever. Tight shirts in the morning at work and when I grieve. I even wear tight pajama tops when I sleep. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Every day.
My son wears
Tight shirts.
to the gym or wherever. Tight shirts.
Tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, Michael Sean and We the Worst Records, Pluto, Aristotle, and P. Skills have just destroyed or created another perfectly horrible song. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, good morning, folks. I'm really not running late, but what's good? Let's send Jay Black. We'll give Jay Black a few minutes. Let y'all gather up, gather round. There's a new rule in town, and the Lord's deep damn mud underground. All right, we got things to talk about. Yesterday, we had David Bradley on the show. We had a spirited conversation. He talked about all the insider trading that goes on in the dirty, grimy business called entertainment. Stories about Stephen Hill, former owner of BET, things that went on. Then we got into I didn't get into it, but a spirited debate with Amani when she did Here's the Thing, which Here's the Thing is a segment that happens every Wednesday at 8 a.m. And Here's the Thing turned into what we were talking about. She had a whole thing planned out. And she called an audible on her second day of work. Second day of work, Monty said, we're going to audible. I want to talk to him. And they talked. He's coming back today. We never got to the Dave Chappelle stories. He actually worked on Dave Chappelle, the TV show, the Chappelle Show. We're going to get into that. I sent him the link. Hopefully he'll come on. You know, we always cross our fingers with our guests, but, you know, he came on yesterday. He was on point. Financial Rebels are supposed to be here. It's definitely tax time. The tax deadline actually came and went. Hopefully you filed your extension. If you needed your extension, I did. I don't even know why I needed an extension. It's the simplest tax season I've ever had in my life. That's because you lazy, Mike. That's because you lazy and you procrastinated and you didn't make it a top priority the way you should have, Mike. That's what the problem is. Facts. Yeah, I just talked to myself. Yeah, I did that. I got one lies detected. I'm gonna see how much we're gonna get to with him, D. Brad getting on the show. I actually had a long conversation with him on the phone last night. It was very interesting. So I got a lies detected about back in the day. Was our family really tight? You know, we all got these stories, and you know, our family used to be so tight before so and so passed away. Well, I got a lot detected about that. I also have old Neil Long clip where I think we played this. Well, we got to play this again because we've been talking about age difference and all that other stuff. I just thought it was interesting on what she said, and nobody seemed to be astonished or surprised. So we'll play that clip. I also have a new stress reliever. For those who don't know, I'm going to see if I find my new stress reliever. I think I have it. For those who don't know, who have just joined the show for the first time, whenever things get real tense and tight, which I should have played yesterday during the conversation, but I ain't want to interrupt. When things get stressful, when we start getting real serious about something, because this is a safe space, which means you can say what you got to say, and we'll still like you after the conversation, after the back and forth. Y'all still like me when I piss y'all off. I still like you when you piss me off. So the stress reliever is this.
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Better.
The breakup things. You know what I'm saying? So I think I may have found another one to help us. Let me see this joint. I think this may be a new stress reliever. I think this might be our new one. I think
Serious craving for something I want to eat. I need some cheese, tomatoes and olives, and maybe even some meat. I need some pizza, 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 pizza. Every time I want that pizza, 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 I go to David's Pizza.
I think we may have found a new one. I mean, we're not going to replace Joe's barbecue for massage, Joe's barbecue for massage, but at least maybe there'll be levels. Maybe there'll be levels to the stress on how if the conversation gets really where people and maybe this is what we need.
Serious craving for something I want to eat. I need some cheese, tomatoes and olives, and maybe even some meat. I need some pizza, 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 pizza. Every time I want that pizza, 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 pizza.
I'll leave it up to y'all. I think that brings some type of silliness to the conversation where we can relax, bring it back to realizing this ain't the end of the world, and I think that serves its purpose. I truly believe that serves its purpose. I also think I got some Candace Owens over here. Candace Owens, I don't agree with a lot of what she says, but I got to give it to you. She's savvy. I may have the interview with her and Pierce Morgan, where he thought he had a easy setup, just talking about Kanye, and he thought he had an easy setup, but it wasn't an easy setup. And she pointed something very interesting out in the conversation with Kanye, because that's the easy one. I mean, you sell T-shirts with swastikas on it. You wearing Ku Klux Klan stuff and everything like that. 11 minutes after 7. It is time to send Jay Black the wake up. This is what we call sending Jay Black the wake up text. I think we need some Jay Black, sending Jay Black the wake up text music. Yeah. We use basically the same music for everything, but maybe we'll use this. Okay. This is sending Jay Black the wake up text. Wake up! Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Should I put one more? Yeah, one more. Exclamation point. All right, let's get to these good mornings. I see y'all already ready to go. Y'all already ready. Top Miss Parker. Miss Parker. It's Friday Eve, Miss Parker. It's Friday Eve, Miss Parker. Miss Clark. Good morning, girl. Good morning, girl. She hitting everybody up. Let me get all y'all good mornings before Jay get on here. Good morning. Shabu. Oh, what? What Jay hit? I'm exhausted, but I'll be. He hit. I'm exhausted, but I'll be there. I should have played the music. I think I should have played the music. Diana Williams, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Afro Queen, Afro Queen, Afro Queen, Afro Queen. She's the queen, she's the queen. Good morning. She says, good morning, Afro Queen. Y'all hitting each other up with the good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. Legs, legs, Ash, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Did I get another text? I don't know if I got another text. Legs, Mike is early. Well, thank you. Thank you for noticing. Good morning. I'm here early. I don't even know. I didn't get the amount of sleep that I normally get. Jay the Addict. All right. What up, homie? How the comedy show go in VA? I think you out there with Joe the Boss. I saw the joint. Ash saying good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody saying good morning to each other. Miss Parker hit everybody up. Pow, pow, pow. Asa said, hey, Jay, good morning. Jay the Addict. Trendsetter. It is Trendsetter. Parker hitting everybody. Said, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, boo. Good morning, boo. How you be, boo? How you be, Miss Parker? As a great segment, Monty. Oh, you like the messiness, the back and forth, the forth and back. Back, forth and back. Is that through here? Forth and back, forth and back. Or is it forth and back, forth and back? Yeah, I think that's the way it went. Miss Parker said Monty did a thing. I'm sure Monty will enjoy these compliments. We appreciate you. I got people texting. Let's see who is somebody showing up. That was Jay Black still saying, yeah, that was I'm exhausted. Get your ass up. Get your ass up. Better time to hear about you talking about you exhausted. Don't nobody want to hear about you being exhausted. Thank you for everybody who got the compliments from Monty. And if you didn't like it, if you had bad reviews, you could also say that too. But thank you. I think she did a wonderful job. Monty came at homeboy real strong. Good job, Monty. Thank you. Appreciate that. I will pass the word. I will pass the word. I will pass the word. She got my 20-year-old. Oh yeah, the vape. What the hell? What? Did I miss something? I don't know. Good morning. Trendsetter saying good morning. Putting the good mornings out there. Chalet. I'm really trying to organize this thing. This is the top of my head. Just the Takeover Legend meet and greet part 2. So I'm gonna take some days off. I don't know when, but it's gonna be it could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. But I want to do a get together. I don't know. No, turn this shit off. I don't know what is this? No, turn this shit off. What? I don't know. What happened? Am I missing something? It's so complicated trying to keep up with y'all slick talk in the comments. Yes, this one. I don't know. But I'm trying to get something together where I give y'all like I guess I should give y'all a month in advance. So basic skills. This is basic. First, I was like, maybe we just meet up at the Borgata in Atlantic City because it's getting warm outside, and Borgata's all encompassing, so they got everything in there, and maybe we can do that. Or maybe there's something at the shore. We can get something at the shore, and we all meet up there, and then I see how you go around arranging the situation with the rooms and stuff and get the hotel and give y'all plenty. How much time would y'all need to set something up? How much time would y'all need? Why can't you stand me? What was the pizza? That's the new. I think that's what you're talking about. I got that one, Mike. Nice. Okay. Okay. Levels is cool. Yes, levels of stress that we may be going through. Sometimes we'll play the Joe's barbecue foot massage, and maybe when it gets hot. We'll play pizza. I'll replay that in a second for those who just joined us. Play the Mary J. Blige Burger King commercial. Did she have a Burger King commercial and a KFC commercial? I'm sure she did have a Burger King commercial. I ain't mad at her either. Tomatoes and olives, sick. Tomatoes and olives. Oh, you're talking about the commercial. Okay, I got you. Spell check. Don't worry about it. Come on, ass. As many times you spelling something wrong ain't nothing compared to as many times I'm gonna pronounce something wrong. So we're even. I watched Candace. Often I don't agree with all of her views, but some I do. But the blessing of what do you need help organizing your event? I can assist. Probably Tawana. I'm gonna try and get something together. I just got hit up by Tawana Coleman. Good morning, Ashley Newman, aka CI. You sent me a clip and on Instagram. You DM me the clip. I had seen that clip before. That clip made me laugh. I should have downloaded it. This sounds like spa music now that I think about it. It is. Actually, I think that's what it's called. Oh, no. That's not the spa music. This is the something acoustic. Let me get everybody. Parker, Miss Parker says, Ashley, Lays, good morning, Ashley. Everybody hitting each other with the good mornings. Because I think at this point, we can get like 15 people to go. What up? What's going on there, Kirsten? Miss Coleman, she up ready to work. Miss Coleman's like, look, I can help you organize this damn thing. Ashley Newman, aka CIA agent. Ask what was it? Back, forth, and forth. Oh, back, forth, and forth. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, a lot of people think back, forth, and forth. A lot of people think because I worked on radio for so long, and I still work on radio, that I knew the words of these songs. You got to understand. When I stopped talking and the music came on, 90% of the time I turned the music down. And people in the studio, we would start talking. So that's why I just know the melodies. Like I know KRS-One lyrics. That's why a lot of these songs I just go, oh yeah. Like knock me down. Keep running. Whether it's Louis, you was the head of the cheerleader football team. Jay Black is in the building.
Yo.
What's wrong? What happened? What?
It's spring break.
So you was partying? You was at a would you go to the shore?
No.
What that got to do with you?
When it's spring break, that means Lady Q and Caden, they're not getting up, they're not getting together for school and the cooking and all that stuff that they do. So if they're quiet, I don't hear anything. So I sleep longer. And that's what happens.
God.
Like their motion in the house really wakes me up every morning.
Oh, okay.
But they sleep. So good morning, Ash. Good morning, Poppy. I see Tawana.
Lady Q's asleep. That means we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, ain't got to worry about nothing.
We ain't got to worry about nothing.
She's like, I ain't got to wake up and cook nothing this morning.
What? We can talk bitches, hoes. We do it all.
Yeah.
We can rate asses. We can rate asses for no reason.
We can rate asses for no reason.
For no reason. What you think about on a scale of 1 to 10? What them titties look like? What them titties look like? On a scale of 1 to 10, what them titties look like? Are you into B cups, C cups, D cups, or A cups? A cups is the little bitty. But I ain't mad at A cup.
God. That's how trouble starts. But that's funny. We can get away with rating asses for no reason.
I'm late. It's Friday Eve. Had to get a mimosa. Watching Mike trying to piece together what is happening in real time is hilarious. Yeah, I got to piece everything together, girl. Everything definitely needs heads up. So you need how many weeks do you need if we set up a trip to take over Legend meet and greet part 2?
Yeah, 3 months should we go?
Jeanette said 3 months. We ain't doing this shit till September. Damn.
No, that's too long. We're planning our little family stuff now, figuring out our little trips for the summer.
Because if not, I'm doing a getaway by myself, so I'm gonna disappear. But I'll be on the show.
What up, Lisa?
I'll be on the show, but I'm jetting. Like after the show, I'm gonna have that whole weekend. So after the show, I'm going to wherever I gotta go. I always wonder what happened when the music was playing.
In radio.
Oh yeah, we turn. See, that's why I don't know the words of these songs because the majority of them we just turn the music down.
Yep, talking our crap.
Because we got to hear the same song 600 times. Like don't like. It had to be. We would listen to it the first 5 times. That's facts. Wait for the next talk break. Yes.
Yep. One more time we got the Mike could go out and go smoke. Mike used to dip out a lot to go smoke. Like
I used to dip out.
Right. Yeah,
So
play 2 songs. I'll be back.
As much as you see me vaping, that was my Black and Mild. I'm like, I'll be back.
Play 2 songs. I'll be back.
But challenge me on a KRS-One. You don't want no problem on KRS-One. You don't want. I know who to focus on. I don't know genuine. I don't know the words to Genuine. Who give a fuck about Genuine? I know the hook. I know the parts that you drop the music. Morning, Afro Queen.
Morning. Taking advantage of the break. Yeah, I could talk whatever I want. I could talk whatever. I ain't got no fear right now. I'm Cocky Records. And she ain't gonna think to go back and look.
Oh, so Jay Black. So let me run this by you. So Dave's supposed to get on here. I had a long conversation with him last night.
He felt offended.
You said what?
Did he feel offended and attacked?
No, he was like, no, your daughter's amazing. He said, I didn't want to go the way I would normally go. I said, dude, everybody got to learn from this. And you probably didn't want her to go the way she wanted to go because y'all was both holding back. But I'm glad because I think y'all were both making points. That's what the more I sit back and watch people have conversations, the more I like. The problem with turning things into a debate is that if you would just embrace each other's points instead of trying, and this goes for me, this goes for all of us. Instead of trying to embrace, but y'all, like not y'all, because I think our crowd has patience. So he was just he's supposed to come back on here to talk everything about the Chappelle show. He told me some interesting stuff behind the scenes. Lady Q, listen to she not listening.
No, she not listening. When I say she out. She out. I'm good. My boy out. There's no movement downstairs.
Your boy probably charging something on the V Bucks.
He probably
I turned stuff down when I would fill in producing the time joint. Yeah, when you're just producing, I don't even. Well, I guess sometimes you gotta listen just in case.
No, I used to do the Russ Parr morning show. I was the guy for the syndicated morning show. I was the guy at the station by himself early in the morning, producing the morning show for that. So yeah, so I ain't doing nothing but putting them live, playing the commercials, coming back to them live, trying to get them to read these little liners and. Well, I did what Rashida did for several years too. Yeah.
So Jay, we got the stress break, right? We got the stress reliever.
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Better.
I think I have another one to add to it, but I haven't switched it over to the box yet. This is when things get Mike. That was a cop out. You can go back and forth respectively. Respectfully. He kept mentioning the fact that she was your daughter. Amani came on as a panel member and a co-host, but I digress. Yes, but understand something. That's the point of a dialogue. If you're going to make a point, people are going to use things that you may feel that's unfair. But if he spoke about his bloodline getting him the job, that was fair game for him to actually say that. See, that was fair game when the minute he disregarded his talent and said the reason why I got the job was the bloodline.
Was given to him. Yeah, he said he didn't earn. He was given to him.
So it wasn't like he was. But I understand Monty's point on: are you a victim? Are you victim shaming? If you're a conscious person, how do you put your conscience on hold? For 2 years, I understand her point. I understand that. I understand his point that if you're in the business, 2 years can feel like 2 days. That's how fast 2 years goes. So I get it. So I enjoy it. That's why I enjoyed the conversation. But sometimes I think we miss the point of everybody's making valid points. Just people have different views on shit. Her life is going to have a different view on what he went through. And obviously he was in the trenches, so he's going to have a different view. Love Monty yesterday. She stood on business and he sometimes was listening to respond. They were both. I think we all do that more than listening to what Monty was saying. It's great. And I enjoyed it. And I told Monty, the more things and cutting.
No, it's the whole radio stuff, cutting up the news and
cutting up the news.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our normal stress breaker. So I found one that we might need. We might need, and when things get real tight, and we really. Where to go? And we really need when things are just going and people about to walk off the show, we might have to play this as a new stress reliever. Still has something to do with food too.
Furious craving for something I want to eat. I need some cheese, tomatoes, and olives, and maybe even some meat. I need some pizza, 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 pizza. Every time I want that pizza, pizza, pizza.
I like
What in the world was that? What in 1980?
that's gonna be. We gonna have another stress break, yo. We gonna have.
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Better come.
Things get really revved up when people might not be commenting and talking to each other anymore.
I need some pizza, pizza, pizza.
The more you play it, it's gonna make me laugh every time now. I already see.
Every time I want that pizza, 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 pizza.
It's just stupid. That will work. It will. At first, I'm like, what is this boy? The more and more you play that crap, it's going to break it up. It's going to break it up. Yeah, it's going to break it up.
All right, so Dave just texted me. He said the meeting that he started at 10 starts at 9. So we're gonna reschedule him for Tuesday. All right, so we can go. Monty doesn't hold back on how she sees things, and I don't want her to hold back. Trust me. That's why I always. I don't know.
But it is the point in a debate or a disagreement that you have to move on when you realize. It's like watching CNN and you like they're not going to answer that question the way you want them to answer it. They're going to keep pivoting. They're going to keep dipping and dodging, and they're not. So it's like you have to move on. That's with any debate. You got to move on.
But that was my job to move it on. But I wanted to see where it was going. That was my job. It's not their job to move it on. They were panelists. So if you allow them to keep going, that was my job to move on to the next thing. But I understood what he was saying. You do get in quicker when you have a relative that works in the business. You don't have to jump through the hoops that a person just coming in has to. Even if you work hard, there's an advantage. Of course.
Yeah. Of course. And then Mike said, you ain't gonna say, he said, you only hear is why are you here on this show? It's because of your pops. She said, I earned that. I said, ooh, get my popcorn, it's getting good.
Yeah, because I never asked Monty to be on the show.
And she said, I reached out to him. I went to school for my degree with this. I said, ooh, she started running down her creds. I was like, standing on it. So yeah, no, it was good.
And I told her, I said, you did it. I told her you did a great job. I said,
well, I thought she could have left some. I thought she kept harping on. So it was at a point I was all right, we got to move on.
That's the same thing we get mad at Democrats for not harping, for not going back and putting somebody to make them answer.
She made a point, though. She made a point. He's clearly not. Yeah. You already made him look the way you wanted him to look as far as not answering that question. Everyone knows and listening and watching, he is not going to answer that. So you done already pointed that out. It's done. Let's move on. That was what some of my thoughts were. I said, Lady Q, do I do this when we debate? She said, yep.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand why are you saying something that you don't.
So you get stuck on one part of something I say and forget about everything else. You want to stay on that one little part.
We do it every day here. We do it every day. We stick on. I wish we could leave voice notes. There's probably a way when we pay $100 a month for a StreamYard to when I pay $100, which I'm going to do, and well, they probably will be voice notes. Ash one her voice heard. She ain't playing. She wanted to be.
Stacy Mitchell.
What up, Stacy Mitchell? What's going on? So we got into that. We got the new stress reliever. I hit the Takeover Legend meet and greet. Well, how was your night? How'd everything go? What went on? What was the punishment? What was one of the punishment for your son?
She's taking his Easter. She's just gonna use. She not doing the Easter. He wanted it, So the Easter is a wrap, and she's trying not to think about it. He keep bringing it up, like I got to pay you back. Trying to figure out how he can hustle up some money to pay her back. So for those who don't know, my son spent Lady Q like $95 on some Robux Fortnite V-Bucks. Fortnite V-Bucks. Somehow through the PlayStation 5, you can order it, and it was $95 out of her account. That I said it was her fault for leaving it on his account.
Why would you ever say it was her fault?
Because I locked the card. No. Anytime y'all use your credit cards for something, just take it off. You doing it for Amazon?
But she said Prime, she did.
Delete your card. No, she left the card on, but locked it and thought she was safe. No.
She locked it.
I think you play a part in it. I'm not leaving no 12-year-old with a credit card. No, and trusting that they're not going to mistakenly buy something. No, you play a part in that in your own demise, in my opinion. And she sleeps, so she can't even argue. It's all good.
Then he said he put his index finger on her forehead and said, I told you, never, ever, don't you ever.
I was checking. That's your fault. They'll be hollering at my son.
And the only hollering up in here is going to be the man in the house. And I don't even holler. But if I wanted to, that's going to be the voice that's going to be raised.
Mm-hmm. See that dog barking? Because the dog even don't like you hollering. The dog said the energy is off in the crib. So next time, yeah. They keep it somehow anyway. Nah. Lock your cards, take them off those accounts, people.
Lock the cards, not the doors. Lock the cards. What if I send Lady Q the money? Don't take Easter from my nephew. Oh, here goes Jeanette, the enabler. Here goes the family member that's always the enabler, who always messes up. You always the one. There's always, don't do that to the kid. No, she needs Easter. You're the prime example. That's why you got to keep everybody out the business. Where you gonna take Easter from? Easter? What, the Easter bunny? This ain't got nothing to do with the Easter bunny. This ain't got nothing to do with gifts. It has to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
If you want to send her $95 and I think it's 29 cents, Jeanette, you go right on here. But yeah, Rashida, I had my finger all up in her forehead. Like,
he sent me the video. They was on FaceTime. I saw it on FaceTime. He FaceTimed it. He said, Mike, yo, they be tripping out here. Sometimes Mike, this is why you single, Mike. You single because you don't know how to run your household. And I was like, no, you got a point, dog.
She told me, I said, yeah, this is what we doing. Yep. This is my son. And all that hollering at him.
Be careful, every closed eye is not asleep. Look at Boo. Look at Boo. Look at Boo trying to scare you. We ain't scared.
Don't scare me. I ain't scared. I talk big. What are we doing?
Ain't nobody scared about Monty. Scared of that?
She want to go on vacation, right?
Yeah, I shut that down. You want to shut Easter down? Jay said he'll shut down the vacation. You be
down.
He didn't mistakenly hit
this year be in his house.
Miss Clark, he's Jay Black's son. There's a chance he could have mistakenly hit the pay button.
Yes, shut up, you shady. You shady.
It's in the genes.
It's
in the genes. They got this thing.
What up, Brooklyn? Brooklyn, yeah, I had to check my wife, Brooklyn, because she tried to holler at my son. I had to let her know, but we're going to keep it moving.
Brooklyn, don't start. You know the point. You know the point I'm making, Brooklyn. Stop with the bullshit. Don't start. You know the gist of what I mean. We're not supposed to have it's not about giving each other gifts. Everything turns into gifts and Easter bags. So for some reason, it's amazing how society has turned everything into, hey, spend some money, buy some gifts. That's why China makes more money off of us, because that's all we do. But what up, Brooklyn? What was that? As soon as she what? What was
weeks up? I should tell me she
as soon as he hears some footsteps, watch his whole situation. Asha, why do y'all want?
Wine. She had wine last night too. She is not listening. She is out like a light.
Out like a light, like a light. All right, let's listen. I've been avoiding this.
Morning, Monica.
What up, Monica? I've been avoiding this. This KARMELO incident that happened in Frisco.
Yes. Oh, they YTs are pissed.
What's the young man's last name? I just had it in my. I got the clip. KARMELO, because KARMELO. I'm such a Nick fan. Carmelo Anthony I think it's
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Carmelo.
Just not the basketball player.
Yeah. So this whole thing went from
excuse me.
A young man getting stabbed and it being a knife. Then it went to the young man was under a rain tent at a track meet. I've been to a track meet. I've been under those rain tents. And the white boys came over and he said, you better not touch me. Then it's turned into the two white boys jumped him. Then it's come to find out that it wasn't a knife. It was a cleat cleaner to clean your cleats that he stabbed him with. Then it went into they took a cell phone. Judge Joe Brown has a lot to say about it. If they took his cell phone, that this is a felony robbery, and whoever died, the the blame will be put on the person who took part in a fellow robbery. Then it went to the typical media posing this young man as thuggish as they could. And they had to go a long way. Then it went to the judge now is under pressure because the judge lowered the bond, which is a usual thing. The bond is there just to make sure that you're going to show up for court.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went to the media and social media saying that the GoFundMe, which is not a GoFundMe, is some other account that they use, was used to buy a house and a car, which is an absolute lie because they've already proven how long they've been living there and all that other stuff. People upset because people are raising money. Kyle Rittenhouse raised millions of dollars for a young man who went across state lines.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get into this because it's so typical. It's it's the same blueprint. The media does the same blueprint. When Kyle Rittenhouse had to be taken somewhere, they called it he went to a safe house. When this family is, they're dodging or they use whatever terminology. It's the same, and I didn't want to get into it because it's America. It happens the same effing way every time. Happens the same way every time. The media plays the same fucking role every time. But now there's a witness who alleges that he was in the tent with his daughters. And he gives his version of what went on. And here's the version right here, y'all. Here it is.
And they got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away.
So you get the gist. Oh, man.
They mad. Look what my lovely wife had sent me. She's like, look, this is what they doing. I love my wife. Look, she sent that. Like, they released them on bond and they mad. For Kyle Rittenhouse, that was different. George Zimmerman, that's why she said they raised money for him too.
What do you think? Now, when they go to trial, you talk real slick when you think I'm asleep. Yup, I ran it back. You got to come down those stairs at some point. He not scared of you.
Actually, baby D or something.
He not scared of you. And somebody in the comments said this.
Girl, shut the up.
Somebody in the comments said that.
No, let's stick to what we talk about. We talk about
not scared of you no more, Lady Q. He not scared of you, nigga. Please, scared of you.
Jeanette must have texted.
Wait till you find out Jeanette trying to ruin her discipline. Please.
No, yeah, Jeanette, she texted me for real. She texted me separately saying, "Hey, she really wanted to cash up Lady Q and pay for
please
the."
Find the racist cop who had to get checked by the black lady lawyer that was taking out her trash. Yeah, I saw that, Ashley. All right, so what do you think of the odds? If you had to put a percentage, what do you think of the percentages that this young man could go to jail?
The percentages that he could
Prison. I should stop saying
with the YT outrage. The percentage was he? I guess we got to know the facts of the case, but I guess we're gonna say that it really don't matter because if it's a jury or is it a judge, like who's going to make the final call? That's a good question.
Yeah, this shit, this AOL shit.
Because you know, if it was the other way around, we'd be like, oh yeah, they're gonna get off. But with us, it's like, could he? Is there a chance? Well, a trendsetter said there's a 75% chance, my man, that he gonna get off. What was your question, Mike?
That this young man will wind up in prison. What is your percentage?
75%. So he got a 25% chance not to go. He got the bond, so that's the first good step, right? So they I guess they're trying to listen. I think he may be the exception to the rule, to the norm. Miss Parker thinks he may get off too.
I want your percentage. I want everybody to put their percentage on. What do you think the chances are? 50% chance he could go to jail. 60. Not. This is not about does he deserve. It's not about innocence. It's not. We're not talking innocence. We are talking. What is the percentage that you think he could go to jail?
Grand Rising. Good morning, Bakar.
Bakar, what's good, Bakar? I'm going to send that money to you. I'm just going to send it to Jay Black. So whatever money comes from Jay Black, the way he does it is that's for me. Because I don't want Jay Black taking the credit. Because he'll snatch that credit.
Miss Parker says 30% chance. So there's a greater chance that he won't. So only a 30% chance that he's going to do some time.
30% chance.
Wow, she got the most faith. Ass said 80. And Ass said they're going to hem him up. He's going to do something.
Going to prison.
And when you say time, is it like real time or is it like house arrest?
I don't know. It could be 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 25 years. It could be
just not acquitted, just not guilty.
Yeah. Jeanette said 50-50.
50-50. It's all racial.
Racist justice system that we have, it could be 100% chance. Prayerfully not.
Nah, they wouldn't have gave him the bond, in my opinion, if they was going to do that. Usually they start hemming you up, you know. I think the fact that they gave him bond is a reasonable person looking at the facts of the case that we don't know.
All right. Well, since Financial Rebel's here, so we might as well bring Financial Rebel in the building. Yes, it's tax season. Financial Rebel is in the building. What's good there, big homie? What's good?
Good morning.
Got the Black Excellence University shirt on. Supporting Woke Up Inspired. Lady Q says 45%. It has a lot of eyes on it, so they ain't gonna railroad him like they plan to. Financial Rebel, percentage. We're not speaking innocence or guilt. Percentage of what you think the chances are of KARMELO ANTHNY going to prison.
Why would Melo go to prison?
The young boy.
The young boy. No, not. Do you hear about the story?
No.
Oh, never mind. I thought you heard about the story. There was a altercation that went on.
Why would KARMELO go to prison?
Oh, yeah, that would have been breaking news. I'd have put that at the top. So in Frisco, they were at a track event and it was raining. Black kid goes under a tent, which is not his school's tent, but he knows people there. Two white football players come to him and try and remove him from the tent. I'm giving you the brief.
Gotcha.
And he says, "Don't touch me." They put hands on him. And he stabs one of the dudes. The dude dies. It's in Frisco, Texas. I've been out there. I was out there a lot. I did a lot of shows. Not a lot, but I did a few shows out in Frisco. It's a very nice area. Frisco is a very nice area out there. So it goes on. Well, he actually got bond. It's a black woman who's the judge. She's catching hell for reducing the bond, which is normal. Bonds get reduced. They started $2 million. Yeah, they get reduced. Now she's catching all types of hell because they're saying, really, you're doing it because she's black. Well, all the judges for Kyle Rittenhouse, that judge was white. But anyway, so he's in a situation now. They're going to claim self-defense. There's a lot going on here. They said it was a knife. It wasn't a knife. It was a cleat cleaner. And then we played this gentleman who gave his eyewitness. Allegedly, this is a guy who was under the tent. So I'll let
It
you.
got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up. McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah, it was.
So, and that's what happened.
I mean, so the question was percentage.
Yeah.
I mean,
That you think he's going to do time?
This is America, right? How many other black people are locked up unjustifiably? So I'll say 60-40.
The problem,
40%.
40%
chance he might go to prison for a long time.
The one part that really, and I'm no lawyer, y'all.
Oh, by the way, I'm not saying he's guilty.
No, that's why I meant this is nothing about guilt or innocence.
Right.
It's nothing about, we're not judging right or wrong, we're just giving percentages. This part is what worries me right here.
And what they went to try to jump this dude and punch on him.
That part I'm gonna play.
And went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and what they.
Dude went in his bag.
Now I hope he's around to testify as a witness.
And I hope the lawyer knows not to let him say, dude went in his bag.
No, even if he does, right? Because it's still
right.
It's not premeditated. It's self-defense.
No, if he went in his bag, that means he could have left.
It depends on the timing and
but
how it occurred.
I'm worried when you say
I hear you.
He said he went in his bag.
Right.
You gotta unzip the bag.
Baby.
You gotta grab what's in the bag. Because there's not just one thing in the bag.
Any good attorney would ask them to detail.
And that's my worry.
Yep.
That when you go and you get something and there wasn't a weapon present. Now, Judge Joe Brown made a good point because they're saying that they tried to take a cell phone, which turns that it was an attempted robbery if they were trying to take a cell phone, which is a felony, which means in Judge Joe Brown's opinion, he says there's a statute that says anybody who gets hurt during any felony robbery or of that nature, the people who have to take the blame for it are the people who are involved, which would be his twin brother. Now, back to the reason why I'm asking the percentage.
Because this is America.
This is America. First offense, never been in trouble. Billy J, listen, that's
that,
all.
That has to be taken in consideration, Mike.
No. I do want this young man to go to prison. I didn't want that white, I'll say it, that white young man to die. Because that's the way, when y'all present it in the media, we know y'all presented it as black and white, so I'm going to stop correcting myself. I didn't want that young man to die. I don't want this young man to go to prison. This was something that escalated. I can't explain it. I'm not a lawyer. But God, do I wish this young man would have walked away.
He went in his bag to protect himself. This guy, he's walking around with it.
He could have walked away, right?
We don't. They're going to say, we have time to go in your bag.
I'll give you this.
Time to run.
God, I wish he would have just left the tent when he was asked to leave the tent. When they came up to him and they wanted smoke, God, I wish he would have just left. I wish he would have left.
They take your cell phone to break it. Kamari, what you doing?
Listen, we could talk I know what y'all about to do.
No, I'm going to give you a real answer. I don't know. If it's 2 versus 1, depending on the situation, I might walk away. Jay's more violent than me.
You can't get that off. Two. If I gotta take an L for the like, we have to explore that down that road. But that's crazy just to sit there and let somebody take your phone
Or you're just gonna have to fight them and take the L.
and then break it.
And the problem here is when the knife can't, when the cleat cleaner was taken out as a weapon.
What does a cleat cleaner look like?
A track star.
It looks like a poker.
Yeah. It
Like
was a battery and attempted robbery. The witness said they put hands on him first. I don't want y'all to misconstrue my words.
This is America, right? So yeah. I get it.
I just in my heart of hearts, and I know his parents wish the same thing. I know his parents wish, and it is unreasonable.
So I'll be honest though, Mike, not to cut you. Him not fighting back though might have led to his death. And I don't know all the particulars of the story.
You're absolutely right.
You know, so I'd rather you fight and do what you gotta do and protect your life than chance it with these. I don't know if they're racist. I don't know if they had an altercation before. That's what so many people are saying in the chat. And I don't know. But you never can know somebody's intentions. So either try to walk away or you're going to fight. And if you're going to fight, fight to the death. And
you know what the high schoolers were? I've seen it a million times. I've been part of groups who did what the white boys did. Y'all got to move. Y'all got to move. And then I've been on the other side. It happens all the time.
Good point, Ms. Clark. Texas is staying your ground. So, you know, there's different laws if you felt threatened. That's how George Zimmerman got off for murdering Trayvon.
And thank God they have, I hope they have the lawyers to be able to fight this. They seem to have money to where they live at. This happened in Texas, so you cats should know they are going to drag this young man. And Trendset is out there.
Texas is different, Billy said.
He got a 90% chance of doing the whole. Well, they already said he can't do a life sentence because of age and all this other stuff.
He's a minor.
But you know, it could still be a lot of years. That's right, Mike. It is unfortunate to get passed away. My condolences to his family and RIP to him. For the boy, my court giving him a free, fair trial without any bias.
I don't think that's possible.
Free and fair without any bias in Texas for a black young man. Damn.
America. I keep saying it because
now the pressure of God, because the judge, who's a woman, black woman, has already had the threats coming to her. So it was not a knife; it was a cleat cleaner tool. Yes, if so,
yeah, I was
his prison chances go down to 80%. Listen, I just wish he would have walked away.
Easier said than done.
I listen. I've been in those situations. But a young kid may not see the big picture. I've been in a situation where I knew what the big picture was. I just wish he would have walked away. And I'm not telling him he was wrong or right, y'all. It's just sometimes.
But we can't assume he had the opportunity to walk away.
Well, the exchange. No, we can't assume anything. But the exchange was get from the tent. You need to get out the tent. So at that moment.
And what's the likelihood that they would have followed him out of the tent?
I don't know. We don't know any of that. All I know is sometimes I just wish you would have.
So Mike, you didn't grow up in Philly, right?
No.
So I'm gonna ask this to Jay, and I'm gonna see his response. Jay, we at Broad and Erie. Somebody asked you what size those shoes you got on.
You ain't gotta be from ordinary to hear that.
I'm just saying.
I've been on the bus in New York and caught that one.
I'm just saying, criminals, violators always look for an excuse to pursue. And that used to be the common setup line, right? Get from the tent could have been, all right, this is just a motivation, or no, not the motivation, the justification to ensue with violence.
Could have been.
Eerie.
Could have been. Yeah. Or it could have been they were trying to punk him, and and the punking would have been he would have left like, yeah, you got that, and would have moved on.
Not your size. You know what's going down there. Yo, what size?
And they asked my cousin what size shoe. He was on the bus. They asked my cousin what size shoe he had on. And my cousin said, your size.
Ooh, okay. She wanted all that smoke.
No, not she. This ain't no she.
Oh, he wanted all that smoke.
No, this is my cousin.
Go.
He had the boom box in front of him. He had the big radio. We were going to Orchard Beach. I was sitting there. I said, what'd he say? And my cousin repeated it to me. He said he wanted to know what size shoe I got on. And I said I got his size on.
So what happened?
Nothing.
So see, that's why I said broad and eerie. Context is everything.
But this is Frisco. This is an elite. This is a high tax. Every house is it. So I just wish he could have, and I know he's sitting there wishing he would have.
Well, obviously, in hindsight, you always think back, what you could have done differently. If you can reverse back time,
and that's that's the unfair part of this country. But we have to start in these situations teaching these kids. Listen, let me tell you where this is going to go. If retaliation has to happen, if you have no choice, it has to happen. But if you can get out of there.
Right. But I mean, I'm trying not to be super political, but this is America, right? Should Emmett Till have not whistled at that young lady?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, like a lot of times.
Well, he didn't whistle at anybody, so he didn't whistle.
No, but my point is, people will use anything as an excuse for violence.
No, I
violence
absolutely
happens
agree.
really fast, and I don't know that if we could have done anything, he could have ran. Listen, he could have ran and we could have tracked him down. He might have ran out of breath and then beat him worse. What's the protection of his life? I think he did the right thing. No need to look in hindsight.
No, you need to. Yourself. We look in hindsight the same way we tell everybody to put their hands on the steering wheel now. The same way we tell everybody to put their hands on the steering wheel when the cops come. The same way we tell people to if your phone is there, start recording. It's the same way we got to start teaching kids like you in these situations.
But what is that though, Mike? That's a trauma response, right?
That's a trauma response to save your life.
But it's still trauma, and it's still not right. That's my only point.
Okay, well, we can get into the right or wrong, or we can get into the dead and gone.
I like that. That was smooth. There was some rap bars right there.
Because now this young man is in jeopardy of losing his freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me, do I think he was wrong? Nah. Do I think he should have just started throwing punches? Yes. Do I think he should have went to that bag and got that? Probably not. Do I think there's a chance I would have done the same thing? Oh, there's a chance I might have done the same thing.
So it goes back to that pastor you played yesterday that said, obey authorities. Any authority, just obey. Obey the white man. You ain't got, forget your pride, black man. Forget your pride.
But then he gave the experience on where he was coming from with that. Not saying I agree with him. Not saying I agree with him. But he explained. But Financial Rebel just give you an update to bring you up.
Cops for the killing of black kids. Instead, teach your black children to be obedient towards authority. And I don't care if most of y'all are black. You need to teach your children to obey authority.
Yes,
we need to teach our sons and daughters to obey authority. We need to teach our children to not fight against authority, not fight against cops, not rebel. Be model citizens. Stop being rebellious towards authority. Be submitted to laws and ordinances. Stop parking in handicapped spaces unless you want a reason to park there.
One's coming for you, Financial Rebel. One's coming for you.
Pay your taxes and stop cheating on your documents. I'm going to go deep. I'm about to get everybody mad. Stop bending your numbers. Watch. The Lord said, give back to Caesar what belongs to him. Stop blaming white cops for the killing of black kids. That is BC.
So then he went on, just to give you the whole update, just so you're up to speed on everything. He went on to tell this story right here.
be submitted to governmental authority.
Let me see what this is doing.
See, now watch. I see all of y'all looking at me. You know why you're looking at me like that? Because you don't read. After Jesus is resurrected, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. When I was 15 years old, I'm walking up Hollis. I'm walking down Hollis in Queens. And an Italian cop drove right by me. And I locked eyes with the cop, and we stared at each other, and he drove by. My ego and his ego. No cameras, no iPhones, no social media, no recordings. And then he says one word to me. Listen to what he says to me. This is what he says to me. He says to me, watch, say something. And in that moment, I hear the voice of my mom and my father. Son, obey authority. Son, respect your elders. Son, don't be in trouble out there with the police.
There he goes there. How much of this, let's be real, I'm not trying, and people, we're trying to have a dialogue. How much of this was ego when they asked him to move, get out from under this tent?
We don't know.
No. Stop with the we don't know. I'm asking. But I'm asking for your opinion.
I don't know.
When y'all don't want to answer the questions, your go-to is we don't know. But when it's the flip side, y'all know everything. When it's something y'all want to say, oh, y'all got details. When it's something y'all don't know, but y'all got an opinion on it, then y'all got details. Because when everything, when y'all combat, it's never we don't know. I'm asking you, in your opinion, if you had to do a wild guess, how much do you think had to do with ego? I'm just asking.
I think most of it had to do with fear. Sorry, I'm not playing along. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to play along. That's your answer.
I think the racial aspect played a part, and it's also the bravado of you ain't running nothing over here, get out of here. Like it was, no, this our area, and what you gonna do? We said to leave. Like it literally, the racial aspect played a key part. I'm sure the racial dynamics were way out of his it wasn't in his favor, KARMELO's, and the white bulls was on some whatever. And then they were showing off of their peoples, they squad, and then things escalate.
About a bunch of high school students, one playing the bully, trying to bully somebody, and we gonna try and act like there wasn't, not Jay, we gonna try and act financial rebel, there was no ego involved in here.
I'm sure there was, but I would guess there was more fear than ego for the black man. For the white boys, clearly there was ego. So to answer your question, yes, there was ego. The white boys want to assert their authority, their white supremacy over this black man, this young black man.
And I went to a white high school. My last 3 years was in a white high school. It was racial, and there was a lot of ego involved. There was a lot of people who didn't want to back down off their ego. I just thought it was interesting that he brought the ego thing involved. Once again, I don't think this kid should go to prison.
No.
I don't think he should. I think it's the same way that kid killed my best friend when we were in high school, which I think he should have done more time than just 6 months. I understand in hindsight, looking back, what really went on. A chick lied.
It's always a chick lying.
A chick blatantly lied. Melissa, you lied, bitch. You lied. A blatant lie. We probably should have walked away faster. But he didn't. And he's not here. And situations like this, unfortunately, this is not about fair. This is not about rights. This is about when we get in situations, we have to think about more angles than white people do.
Correct. That is correct.
And we got to think about more angles even when we're dealing with each other, but especially when we're dealing with white people, and especially in a situation, flight or fight. I went to a white high school, never had a problem.
Lisa got jumped by down at Temple. I wonder if that's why she became a cop. Like she shared the story how she got jumped by some black males and females. You know, she a white girl. I don't know what the whole pulling the white girl hair thing means, but she said they wanted to pull.
Well,
they
always pulling hair.
I wonder if is that why you became a cop, Lisa?
They were like, we're pulling this white girl down by her hair. I fought my ass off, but I got messed up. Wow. It was all ego. Asha says, because apparently they didn't need to sit in that tent because they were somewhere else. They clearly came over there to assert power over the black young man looking for a fight. I agree with you.
I swear that's my cousin.
I swear that's my cousin. What is the name on that video? What video? Oh,
Afro
quick.
The pastor.
Oh, the pastor. Oh.
Or I don't know which one she's talking about. Could be.
It could be the pastor. If that's your cousin, call him so we can get him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, that's why I hadn't talked about the thing, because it's so frustrating because everything's going as a stereotype. Everything's going according to plan. The media portrays him as one way.
Who puts a knife in the gym bag to go to the track meet? It wasn't a knife, Dallas.
It wasn't a knife.
It was a cleat cleaner for the track shoes. The cleat cleaner. I had to Google it. Look, it's sharp.
But welcome.
Welcome.
Dallas.
Oh, I guess maybe he wants to defend and say that should Carmelo be in jail, Dallas? You think he should be locked up? Throw away the key. I wonder what Dallas thinks for that comment. It's curious. Yeah, Jay Black, that was the so that was reason. See, that Lisa getting jumped was the reason she said, you know what? I'm gonna get the real squad to back me up.
And I'm gonna lock up all these black
the real gang. I'm gonna get all
the greatest gang ever.
We playing Lisa. We playing
Lisa. I'm gonna lock up all these N-words.
Y'all gonna
I'm coming right back to Temple and I'm locking them up. I'm playing Lisa. We are playing
Pelican Bay shoe program.
Shoe program. All of y'all. I'm putting charges on all of y'all.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Wait, let's look at this historically. When they have combat black folks, has always been in numbers, or they were armed against someone unarmed. This should have not happened. But why are we putting it all on him? I'm not putting anything all on anybody. I'm trying to say we're not looking at guilt. My whole thing was I just wish in hindsight this young man could have walked away.
Right, but you're still putting that on him. How about them walk away?
I'm putting that on his safety. On the fact,
but what about them walking away?
Them are evil for coming over there.
So what do you do with evil? You can't always outrun evil. Sometimes you got to fight.
No, I agree. And sometimes in hindsight, he should have, like you said, took the L and we're going to fight.
And so I did have a comment about the pastor. He says other people don't read. I would say more of us need to read letters from Birmingham from Dr. Martin Luther King when he talked about civil disobedience and when it's okay to fight against, rebel against the law because they're not moral. And so had King and others, they are arrested, not fought, not resisted, not just go along to get along. And I'm not talking about ego. I'm talking about morality. We would not be here today. So we got to put all that in context. And so, no, I don't think we should always assume black folks should run. No, I don't. We've been programmed that way. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to program. I'm not trying to program. Anything. Oh, I know you're not.
And Jay Black, I just want to say something. As many people as you bullied. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. If somebody would have stabbed you in your heart and you died, would your family still wanted justice?
Well, of course, because they're not seeing
but who's the
role
bully?
that I would have played growing up as a young man.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, Jay, you talked about you being a bully?
No, Mike brought up stuff like that. I always say allegedly.
Jay told me to my face I was a bully.
But wait, on the show?
To me. And on the show, you mentioned it.
Allegedly. No, but sometimes when you're young, no, Kamari, some stuff.
What do you mean? Why you say me? Like I wasn't there.
Wait. Say it again. Sometimes. And I gotta play both sides. Sometimes when you're young, what, Jay? Sometimes when you're young, what?
You get caught up in that showboating, and I'm flexing. I'm what? Who won it with Debo? Like sometimes in the hood. I don't know.
When you're young.
When you're young, yeah.
Just going on the opposite
And then
side.
you don't know better until you know better, then you do better. Then you know that ain't it. That is not it.
These white boys ain't never. This white gentleman is never gonna find. He's never gonna have the chance.
It's the racial aspect that plays, I think, a bigger role in that.
Correct.
So what was it with you? Then yours should even be worse because you didn't have a racial aspect. You just did it to just
it's different.
Literally
survive.
And I didn't, and I wasn't. Mike, move on. You always.
Mike, if you got a couple dollars, I'll tell you the whole story.
Because
kids, man. Stop.
Okay, keep that same energy. The kids on both sides.
But once you learn better, you do better though. In all seriousness, you learn better, you do better.
One person may lose his freedom. Another person lost his life, and they were kids. Did they find a black kid named Kendrick Johnson unalived in a road? Yes, road gym mat in Georgia. No one knows what happened. Yes, it is possible. He by defending himself, he prevented a repeat of this. I don't know. We don't know what happened.
Shout out to Thunder, because that's basically what I said.
That's real.
We don't. But I'm gonna do what Financial Road does. We don't know what happened.
We know a young man was rolled up in the gym, but you just can't slip, fall, and get rolled up in the gym.
He may be rolled up in that mat because he fought back.
Nah. We know.
In this context, I'm going to say yes. Everything's racial when it comes to sports.
This is Jay Black said, nah. That's what I'm talking about.
We know what it is. If he fought back, if he didn't fight back, he was outnumbered.
No,
that's crazy that case still has yet to. They have yet. That's I forgot all about that.
And once again, the unfairness is that when if you are not of a certain skin color, have to think of variables that normal white Americans don't have to think about.
And he was missing organs. Remember that?
Yeah.
He had certain part, yeah. That was
that could have been nothing about fighting back.
Crazy.
That could have been a whole nother. All right. Financial Rebel, obviously. We'll how much time we got? 15, all right, we got time.
I got 45 minutes technically.
All right, so let me get to the lies detected. This is a more like Financial Rebel. You know when things get tight in here and we get serious, you know what we play as the icebreaker, right? You know what we play as the icebreaker, right?
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to
seems to lower the tension. That's when the break.
I need you to send me that. I need that clip.
All right, so
okay.
So with that being said, I think I found another icebreaker that we may be using on the show when things get even more intense. That even Joe's barbecue can't bring us back. Like it's so intense that Joe's barbecue and foot massage can't do it. We may have to play this now. We may have to play this.
Serious craving for something I want to eat. I need some cheese, tomatoes, and olives, and maybe even some meat. I need some pizza. Every time I want that pizza. I go to David's Pizza.
We may have to. They may be.
I mean, nothing beats Jones barbecue, but that's hilarious. That's
going to be in rare cases where things have spiraled out of control that we may have to go to that. All right, got a lot detected, y'all. Y'all gonna tell me, everybody, we all have family members. We all have memories of the family. And a gentleman is saying that the memories we had may not have been the true memories. They might be inconvenient memories. They could be not exactly how things happen. So, people, listen closely. This is another edition of Lies Detected.
It's time for action. Yeah.
Thanks you for joining Michael, Sean, and Jay Black. It's time for No Lies Detected.
Right here. It's time for action. Yeah.
Thanks you for joining Michael, Sean, and Jay Black. It's time for No Lies Detected.
Right here.
Here we go.
Family don't stick together like they used to when the elders were around. But what if the truth is the family was never together, and the elders weren't the glue, they were the cover? A distraction from the fact that most families don't know how to function without somebody sacrificing their peace, time, and energy to make sure everybody else stays connected. And what you notice is everyone got comfortable showing up without showing effort. So when the elders passed, what disappeared wasn't family. It was their effort to hide how disconnected everyone truly was. Everybody loves to say the family don't stick together like they used to when the elders were around. But what if the truth...
I thought that was interesting because I don't know if it happened in your family, but there were certain people who, when they passed away, that the family never reconnected again like they used to.
There's a psychological definition for that.
What's the side? Go ahead, go get it.
It's called social loafing.
And what's it mean?
When working in groups, most people are lazy, and it's always only one or two or a few to make things happen. I.e., Big Mama is always trying to make sure the family stays together. Dinners, outings, whatever. Big Mama, Uncle Charlie, whoever. But sadly, when they die, everybody goes their separate ways. They don't worry about being connected again. So what that young man's saying, he's got a point. Got a big point.
Jay Black, did that happen in your family? Fucking.
I missed a little bit of it. I missed a little bit of it. I'm be honest.
It's time for action. Thanks you for joining Michael, Sean, and Jay Black. It's time for No Lies Detected.
Right here.
Jay Black just did the most honest thing. As usual, I ain't pay attention. I just want to be in my own little. I don't want to add to the show. No, go ahead, Jay Black.
I missed that part. I was looking at something. I looked at something else, and I got distracted. And once I missed the half of it, I was like, "It's a wrap."
Hey, Kamar, is there any way you could be on here Tuesday through Friday? Is there any way you could probably?
I missed it. I looked up something.
Come on, I can't replace Jay. I can't replace Jay.
Morning, Queen Born. Morning, team.
Y'all know how to play the game. Kurt said no lies to say. Facts.
I'm rocking with Rashida, so that's facts.
No, you don't even get. Matter of fact, we should take your box. We should put a black thing over your box and black yourself out on this one.
Come on, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Talking about run it back.
Oh my
God. Thunder said facts. Look, let me get these comments. Ooh. Chill, no lies. Ash, you know Ash. We be on the same vibe a lot, so
no, really. And you know because Ash watched it.
Family don't stick together like they used to when the elders were around. But what if the truth is the family was never together, and the elders weren't the glue, they were the cover? A distraction from the fact that most families don't know how to function without somebody sacrificing their peace, time, and energy to make sure everybody else stays connected. And what you notice is everyone got comfortable showing up without showing effort. So when the elders passed, what disappeared wasn't family. It was their effort to hide how disconnected everyone truly was. Everybody loves to say.
So, and did you get it now, Jay? Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah, I heard it.
Does that have anything? Does that spark any emotion in you? Is there anything that you can relate to in that? Is there any valuable substance that you can add to this discussion? Anything? Is there anything that you could add?
This would be the time where I would say, "Yo, Lady Q, what should I be thinking on this one? Like, what do you feel? Like, did I take her?
It's absolutely.
Did I take her position?
There's absolutely something wrong with that. Some of the elders were glue, and once they're gone, everybody goes their own way. In some cases, the only thing that had in common was that person.
Ooh. That's true. And I mean, if you want to expound it further, that's why the Black community has so many dysfunctions. Why we're not able to do things, say like a Chinese community with the Chinatowns and things like that, because there is no glue.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point. I will say this, and I agree with what Kamari just said. Totally agree. I will just say this, and I have to be very careful how I say this. Very, very careful. The passing of the people who held everything together was trauma for everyone.
Yep.
Especially the sons and the daughters. My dad, my aunts. When we lost our grandmother, our grandparents, all four, but our grandmothers were the ones that really, especially, we went every Saturday for as long as I can remember. So it has to be for over 20 years. The first New Year's Eve I ever spent that I didn't spend with my family, my Puerto Rican Bronx BX Boricua family, I was 21 years old the first time I didn't spend New Year's Eve with them. And I'm lying. I was 23 because I was doing a comedy show. First time. We went over to my grandmother's house every single Saturday night. Every single Saturday night, we went. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins all went, and we played cards. And my parents, they played cards for money. And you knew you were now considered an adult when you were allowed to actually put your money up and play cards.
When you could sit at the table.
When you could sit at the table and play cards. That was the ritual. Some of the greatest memories I ever had. And now in hindsight, I realized us not being in each other's faces, if we had continued that, we probably would have destroyed each other. There was so much dysfunction that went on. There was so much that it was ruining people's lives with their significant others simply because of my family being so involved. My family was dysfunctional and disconnected when my granny was alive, and we stayed that way afterwards. Okay, Lady Q, clap. Lady Q ain't playing.
That's real.
Good morning, Gamar. Who is Mrs. E?
That's my homie right there.
E, what up? What's good?
By the way, she's from the Bronx also.
BX, what up? Where in the Bronx you from, girl? I never sat at this table. All right, so let me get to this. This one Jay alike. Jay will pay total attention to this. I promise you.
Jay one for me.
He'll play. So Nia Long, a long time ago, was on. She was on a interview. She was, there was a crowd there and everything like that. And she wasn't even asked a question. She just literally gave up some information, and I'm gonna let y'all see if y'all peep it. She gave up some information that took me aback right here. Here you go. We're playing.
Or went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school. I know my mother was crazy, but you know what? I would never ever let I mean that in a good way. Like, she was an artist. She was like, well, if that's who you love, baby. And he was so good to me and kind and like, you're right. And he did it the right way. He went to her. He was from Oman. He went to her and he said, I love your daughter and I want to date your daughter. And he asked permission. Look at your face. You're like, that ain't happening with my baby.
Where's the soundbite? Where's the Montez?
Man, listen, I'm just happy that Jay Black said, fuck family. I want to hear about Nia Long and the 30-year-old. That's all. He paid close attention.
That was wild.
She tried to clean it up. That's a pedo. That's what 80.
He met the mom. Wait.
Ever went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school. I know my mother was crazy, but you know what? I would never ever let I mean that in a good way. Like, she was an artist. She was like, well, if that's who you love, baby. And he was so good to me and kind and like, you're right. And he did it the right way. He went to her. He was from Oman. He went to her and he said, I love your daughter and I want to date your daughter. And he asked permission. Look at your face. You're like, that ain't happening with my baby.
Girl, shut the up.
Nah, don't shut up. We need her to talk more, right? Because that exposes a thing in the community that we never really talk about, right? I know, using me and Jay, because me and Jay graduated from school at the same time.
Yep.
Back in the day, it was a notorious drug crew in Philadelphia called JBM. And Jay went to King, I went to Franklin Learning Center. I know for a fact they were at both schools picking girls up in their fancy cars, in their BMWs, in their Mercedes-Benz, in their Jaguars, and they're getting out of Accords. And they were 25, 26, 30. I mean, how many stories of R. Kelly being in front of high school letouts are there? We have a pedophilia problem, y'all.
Yep, there was a diner. I actually interviewed a girl who used to go to the diner that R. Kelly would pull up in the limo at in Chicago. I noticed she didn't mention what her dad said about it. I don't know.
She said about the family getting money. Maybe
30 years
that old head
old.
was giving some bread up, helping the
They
mom with the
provided
bills.
financial resources to the entire family. It was allowed. So that would sound as that's transactional. So what does that mean? When
But can we have a real conversation though?
That's transactional.
Women, young women have always been used as a transaction. Go back and look up what a dowry is, right? Go look at The Color Purple, right? I just rewatched Color Purple. Why was Celie with Mr.?
The new one or the old one? Which one did you?
I just watched the new one.
Oh, the new one.
I was well. Hold on. So I was disappointed, but I still feel everybody did a good job. Can't help it. You can't remake
Was
that.
Celie 18 though? Was she 18?
No, I think she was younger than that. I think she was younger than that.
In high school, you could be 8. Nia Long could have been 18 in high school.
Yeah, but she also could have been 17, could have been 16.
Borderline.
How does that change anything, Jay? How's that changing anything for you?
Because they're gonna legally, if you're an adult, if you're 18, that all that goes out the window. He could be.
We're not talking about. We don't care about the legal. We don't.
Wait a minute. Let's go down that rabbit hole. 30 and 18. You still cool with that, Jay?
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm legally.
I'm just saying, even if they are 18, are you okay? I'm not.
If you're 18 and you're dating a 30, if you're 18, Kamari, as a man, and you're dating a 30-year-old woman, who's going to say, "Yo, Kamari, you wildin'"?
Yeah, here we go. Trying to remix the stats.
If we being honest, and if it's a man,
Well, being honest, it was a 30-year-old man who went to prom with an 18, 17, 16-year-old young lady.
What I'm saying is the double standard. If it was a young man and it was
yes, there's always a double standard, Jay.
Well, let me get to this double standard because everybody was killing the girl who was almost 40 for getting pregnant by Anthony Edwards, who was 21.
Well, I didn't kill her.
No, I'm saying on this show, people were killing her and saying, "Oh, the cougar was out there." So, I mean, this double standard goes. Now we use the double standard, and we
very deep.
And Jeanette said, taking them to McDonald's after school. That Happy Meal. I don't even know if there was Happy Meals back then. GPM was well known. Yeah, I read the book. The book was pretty good. Yes. What about fathers and uncles in the home?
Maybe Nia Long didn't have that, or maybe they was cool with it too. The mom said, "Hey, you love who you want. The heart wants what the heart wants."
A boy from the neighborhood, family uncle, were trying to talk to me when I was 14 and 15. He was 30. Ooh.
So what happened after y'all went out? No, good.
Yeah, what happened? Did y'all go to long walks on the beach? Or what happened? Y'all go down to South Street? Older men have dated young women. Y'all get readers? Y'all go to Penn's Landing? Because you know Penn's Landing, you take a girl to Penn's Landing back in the day. That was crazy. You was asking them, do I need my passport? Do I need my passport? First of all,
You got the big boats on the water. Look at all this water. It's nice.
Clark said older men have been dating younger women since biblical times. So is that cool? So are you cool with it?
But that's my point. That back to the transactional point, right? Women are always exploited for men's conquest. But we don't talk about that.
Oh, Ash said no. She was 13 or 14, I believe. Did you do some research? Wait a second. I
never know what Kay's comments come out. We never know where we're going to go. If it's going to be serious, it's going to be something. Let's see. I don't know if she's sharing. Let's see what Mike about to read.
I don't even know if we need. We might. Yeah, I think we might. We might have to do it. Yep. We might have to do it. Yep. I was 15, 16. When I started dating a guy in his early 20s, looking back, I had no business. Absolutely no business. No fucking business in that space. Damn, bro.
You just get knocked up. in the
How you
20s.
get away with that, Kate? Like how? Where
How
were?
your parents allowed?
Yeah, where
Maybe
were
your
the
dad
parents at? Where were the
was your
parents at?
dad. Was your
Were you
dad or uncles in your life?
were you that sneaky? Were you just that sneaky that couldn't nobody? Did anybody know?
Wait, I
Put
don't
the
know you
link
behind.
up. Put the link up. Yes, the color purple, the old one. Families offered cows and land for the young lady. And yes, fathers paid the family of the grooms a dowry. Okay. And I would say the same if it was a woman. Thunder said, yup, and let's bring it full circle. Wow, many when you do that.
Bigger
Full
function.
circle. Wow. Many of us men have stories about older women preying on us. Young boys back in the day. A lot of boys got essayed, boys, women, and no one cared.
Them babysitters.
Yeah, my dad cut my babysitter. My dad was like, nah, no more babysitter for you. True story. The cougars are allowed, but men are attacked.
Facts.
Always
You gotta
happy.
be a cougar, honestly, but yeah.
Always happy meals. Hell nah. I was scared. That was creepy to me.
I'm loving the voice effects.
It was creepy.
Somebody clicked in on the link. I guess they got a comment.
Coco, what Coco say? What's what Pants say? Pause. In the South, that was a norm.
Down south.
But he was a predator. He stalked all the young girls from the neighborhood.
No, she said no.
No, the fathers and the uncles sexually abusing the child in the home. Oh, yeah. What happens in the house stays in the house. Oh, yeah. Please discuss. Oh, what do y'all want? What do you want to discuss? I mean, we want to
I'm
all
trying
of
to say it's in house.
Kay kicks in the door. Who came up on the thing?
So somebody came in. Somebody clicked the link. You got a comment. Who is this?
This is Kay.
Oh, this
Oh,
is
this Kay. Oh, okay. Making her debut.
Okay, Mike, I'm real. But I just want to say, so I grew up in the city. I grew up in Cincinnati, and I'll be 40 next, couple months. But back then, it was commonplace for, I'm not going to say girls, but young women in high school to date older men. I mean, you would see it. It was commonplace. They would show up, they would pull their cars up, and it was cool. I'm not going to say it was appropriate. I'm just going to say when you're exposed to different environments and you're having to, grow up and be more mature a little bit, you feel that you need to be in those spaces. And it was just commonplace for the sophomores, juniors, seniors to date the older men. Thought it was cool.
You said he was how old?
Oh gosh, he was maybe 22 or 23, and no, my parents did not know.
And what did he do?
What did he do?
Yes. What kind of work?
I think he worked. Now I'm not gonna say I didn't date a drug dealer or two, but
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
She was influenced at 15 and 16. You seeing the money, you seeing the lifestyle. Because boys your age at that time, they don't have cars. So this 23-year-old, he got a whip. He could take you to Fridays. He could take you to Rita's, wherever y'all wanted to go. That was appealing. And other girlfriends like, girl, you go ahead. Wow, they was jealous. And she was out there. So kids being honest.
All right, Kay. So you said you were 15?
15 going on 16. I was working at Foot Locker, and I met him when I was working at Foot Locker. So I just say that it happens, and I'm not going to say it was appropriate or was right, but when you think I'm grown, I can do this, I can do that, and you're around these people. Plus, I had an older sister, so she was 10 years older than me. I was going to clubs. I was doing things that my parents didn't know about. I mean, let's just be honest about the times were just different. And definitely, I was dating somebody that I had no business being around.
Well, we're using a lot of good words, and where everybody's being very proper on the wording and the age and all that good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna cut to this chase. You were, and this whole thing, I was 15 going on 16. Stop it. You were 15. You're always going on something. You're
15.
always going. Yes, you were 15. When did the sex start?
Oh my God, Mike! I am still a virgin. Don't do that.
When did you need something fixed in the house at 15? When did this start?
Mike,
Because he
was
wasn't picking
she
you
said
up
I
in that
wanted to pop
car.
on. I wanted to pop on to say a
Mind your
couple
business,
words
Jay.
about
Mind
this.
your business. Mind your
all
business.
right, all right.
Mind your business. You
Let him
so
cook.
caught up.
Let him cook.
Y'all so caught up because she pretty and all that other stuff. And yes, your voice sounds exactly the way I thought it would sound. In my imagination, you sound exactly what I thought you would sound like. When did it start? Because now we're talking. Now I'm into the legal start. When did it start?
I think it's obvious, Mike, but I'm not gonna put that out on.
Okay, and
Mm.
okay, so this, my friends, and thank you so much for being
Mm.
for being 100% honest. Because
Safe
listen,
space.
like you, I dated girls who broke up with me because the dude came up with the new Maxima.
Absolutely. Well, you know
And
what?
what?
I have to be honest, Mike, because I have a 4-year-old daughter. So being that I saw things and I knew things and I know things, I have to be honest and put it out there about what the realities are so that I can protect my daughter as she is coming up in age. Because it doesn't start at 15, 16. It starts way before then. It starts in other aspects within your life, within your culture, within your community, your home. It could have been, uncles, it could have been family friends. It does not start when a girl is coming up into womanhood and now she's, able to be more exposed into the community. It starts with men very well before 15, 16.
So let me ask you something. In all seriousness, do you think experiencing stuff that early affected you personally, mentally, affected you in future relationships, affected you in any way? Do you think if that's something, do you think back and go like, maybe that could have been why this, and that? That could have been why.
Absolutely. I mean, if we're being honest about it, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There's trauma there. I mean, it's I don't want to say too much on YouTube, but it is grape, it is pedophilia, it's all of that. And when you look back on it, it's like, okay, why was a 22, 23-year-old attracted to me at 15? And now that you're exposed to that environment, that's trauma.
Okay,
You know,
do we have you for a minute or you got to go?
I'm getting my daughter ready for school, so just a few more seconds.
A few more seconds. Thunder made a comment. Notice how you guys just breezed the essay of young boys by women. Like I said, no one cares about predators unless they're men. Listen, Thunder. First of all, I was part of that. That happened to me. So I didn't breeze over it. Like what the subject was, we were talking about this. That is absolutely done to men, done to little boys. And what happens is, since you want to get into it, this is what happens when you do something like that to a 15-year-old boy or a 14-year-old boy who's never felt an orgasm in his life before.
15 and 12.
And 12. When you have an orgasm, and nobody has talked to you about this, and you have no idea, you want that feeling again, but you don't even know if it was right or wrong. You have no idea. You don't know what you did. You don't know, but you do know, we can say whatever we want, that orgasm made you feel something you had never felt before. And what happened is it turned me into, now, without repercussion, let me find how I can get that feeling off again. And nobody set me straight on what should have taken place and all the parts of a relationship, and what had happened was wrong. So I'm not breezing by it. We don't breeze by shit here. We have low attention span. That's all we have.
Well, that's honest. That's
So
honest.
understand, you can get me off track fast. So if you think we breeze by it, hopefully I gave it enough attention to understand that it changes a boy's mentality in a negative way for me, because now this is not about relationships. This is just about, okay, now I'm watching all the music videos. Now I'm watching all the girls, and now I'm looking at them for one thing and one thing only. The thing that was given to me involuntarily when I was like 14 or 15 years old. So hopefully I addressed it, and we can address more if you guys would like to. If not, I get it. Kay, so you said it did affect you in trauma and things of that nature. Did it affect you on how you handled future relationships?
I think it did. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, it's great. It's all the terminology that we incorporate about that life in the negative aspect. And it affects how you move in future relationships. It affects how you approach life, how you feel that you have to be grown or older way before your time. And I think we force, especially on our black girls, we force them to be, and we use terms and wording and phrases that almost force them to feel that they are older or need to be more mature. You know,
Wow.
it,
Wow.
it affects you in so many different ways. So at 15, 16, now I feel like I'm a grown woman. And I feel like I have to move in that space as a grown woman. I'm working, I have a job like an adult. I'm dealing with a man who's an adult. I'm doing things that are of adult. And I saw somebody put in a comment that consent is 16.
Depends on the
Think,
state.
think about when you were 16.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
you can't consent to something like that. You can't know right from wrong, especially if you don't have a household or a home when you're having those open and positive conversations about womanhood, about manhood, about life, about sex. You know, and in a lot of states, 16 is not consent. I can't remember it being consent in Ohio. It may be in New York
Right.
or other, you know, but no, 16 is not. It's almost like giving an 18-year-old $60,000 and saying, "Oh, be responsible for this student loan repayment."
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's a great analogy. Um, when you made a good point, and it always makes me curious when you say the way we talk to young girls or young people in general makes them feel words are powerful. And when you start talking to a young person, a 15 or 14-year-old, like they're a 25-year-old, so you would say that that does affect how you talk to kids and the things you say around them.
Absolutely. Even a 6-year-old, even a 10-year-old. I'm trying to think of that. You know, our community would use. You know, oh, pretty young lady, or even at 12, 13, to call a kid or a teenager fast. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of different aspects, but Mike, I think you're almost spot on when you're saying that we have pushed young girls and young men, young boys into spaces where they feel that they have to make decisions much quicker. I can't make a decision about my body fully at 16. I wasn't even having the conversations with my parents about what I was doing, obviously, because I knew it was wrong.
Wow.
I knew it was wrong.
Wow.
So I'm laying down with a grown man, exposing myself to so much.
Right.
At 16, it could have been diseases, baby. I mean, a lot could occur at 16. I could have came up missing or dead. You know, you just don't know what you're putting yourself into at that age. And I'm very protective of my daughter. I'm very careful about the words and things that I supposed.
Oh, she was right there. All right, let's see. I
Stuck
think we
around
lost.
longer than we thought. Yeah. We
Yeah,
can crank
but
that
thank
into an interview. Thank
thank
you,
you. Thank
K-Day.
Having your own says victim mentality is self oppression. Nobody owes you anything. Yeah, but you owe yourself. And we're not saying I don't think victim mentality is self oppression.
Okay.
When you're a kid and somebody does something to you,
Gotta
people
read
are
that.
you are owed people around you to protect you or to feel safe that you can go to somebody and express what happened. My old man that was 17 years old then molded me to be the woman I am. He taught me to hustle.
Stacy Mitchell just admitted she was with a 17-year-old, a person 17 years older than her, and he scooped her up, and she got something positive out of it. He helped mold her and taught her the game. So was that bad?
Well,
That
that's
she got
great because alcohol did a lot of positive things for me. I got a lot. I killed a lot of shows. I got a lot of jobs. I made a lot of money. But at the end of the day,
I was waiting on the butt.
But at the end of the day, it affected me on another side because we can say that he taught you your hustle. But let's if you want to tell us what else he affected. Did it affect relationships in the future? Did it affect your mentality on how you looked at men?
I mean, I think one thing we kind of glossed over, just to put a stamp on it, is that a lot of times our children, their innocence is being robbed from them, unjustifiably so.
Absolutely.
And so I don't care if it's 12, 10, 13, 17, 15 going on 16. That was innocence that was stolen. And yes, there are quote unquote fast children. I don't even like that term, but that's what folks like to use. But that don't necessarily mean they should be just let to go free. Children are children. They don't know what's right. They don't know what's wrong. They don't know what's good. They don't know what's bad. That's why they're children.
Yes, calling a child sexy is wrong. Yes, it is wrong. Self-preservation. If you were violated, you should be allowed to speak about it. Absolutely. Absolutely. What does that mean? What game was taught to protect yourself? No disrespect. Please elaborate on what game was taught. I have friends that take advantage of me. I have a son. I don't want a woman manipulating. I have friends that take advantage of men. I have a son. I don't want a woman manipulating him.
That's real too.
This is a safe space. I like the honesty.
No,
I
it
like
is.
what you
It's
share.
definitely a safe space. Everybody can. There's no wrong
You got
comment.
smut it out when you comfortable talk about it. Talk about it. You know, hey, if you really learned something, like just be honest.
Here we go.
If you was with someone, you was with the older man or the woman, and you enjoyed it. This is a safe space, Kamari. People share a lot. They share a lot. They share. Look where Nikki White chocolate at. She shares a lot. Other people share
Mike,
a lot.
would you have an issue with Monty dating a much older man, like say a 40-year-old? Listen, I've learned a long time ago. All I can do is warn you.
Mm-hmm. He can't stop it.
All I can do. And the fact of the matter is Monty's very particular about ages. It disgusts her. She's the one checking me on how young I can go.
There you go.
Like she still thinks a 36 or 35-year-old is too young. And I'm like, what a 36-year-old?
You can't just go by age though. If they're an adult of age in a certain aspects and the mental aspect is there and the heart wants what the heart want, and Mike want to date a 36-year-old and you're 52, 53, Miley can't stop that. She can't say, Dad, you're wrong because she's 36. 36 that's an adult.
But
right?
but you do know the influence that somebody as close as my kids are to me, which I don't think there's anybody closer to me than my kids have. Mike, would you have any? Okay.
No,
Can we go back to a comment from Still Rocks 33?
Smut it out versus being a victim
of a perverted man.
Which one you said? What's the name, Kamari?
Still Rocks 33. So I'll read it as you find it. It's way up at 8:36 a.m. He said, "Man, I used to be so mad when the older guys would pick up the high school girls. As a chubby nerd, I couldn't get girls my age because they were dealing with 20-year-olds. He just expressed my pain. I just wanted to put that out there."
See, the funny thing is that was never my pain. I never, when old girl went to go hang out, maybe because my dad and my uncles instilled a lot of negative stuff, but there was some positive. I was like, you getting played. You do know that, right? I was saying that in high school. I said, okay, well, I guess you're just going to give it up to him. Sorry, I had a call come through.
Oh, good, Kay. I'm surprised you stayed that long. Mike started turning it into start pressing you. I'm like, oh, she ain't gonna never click back on and start pressing.
You just said people were getting smutted out. How was I pressing?
No, I didn't say.
How?
People want to be honest.
My experience has been that the older person has more world experience and aware of the manipulation. Yes, definitely. That's usually why the older man seeks a younger girl. Finances are key. And the ability to manipulate somebody. Now,
it's all about the shmoney. It's all about the shmoney.
I mean, there are certain people who just fall in love, I guess. I mean, we have to admit that. But usually the older man
1% of
the older man never wired the young girl. Never wired? Usually the older man never wired the young girl. I guess
I'm on a bank wire.
I don't know.
You never dated a younger girl, Mike? Kamar, y'all never had when y'all were growing, y'all did younger?
No, listen, Still Rocks just talked about my experience. I couldn't get none of the good girls, the fly girls. All the drug dealers had them.
And thank God you didn't. Thank God you didn't.
Married.
Older men never married the young girl. Bill Belichick married a young girl. Lady Q, off the subject, but report cards are out. KJ just missed getting A's. He made the honor roll all 3 marking periods. His Easter has been saved. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow he took $95 from her though. She was hurt, so she's gonna restore it, I guess. Okay. All right.
The older man never married the younger girl. All right. So All right, let's get some tax questions here.
Shayna. Good morning, Shayna.
Good morning, Shayna. What's going on? Everybody say what's up to Shayna. I think I've seen her. I think I've seen her once in a while.
So you got it. You said you got it. Ain't taxes over? Oh, 420.
So taxes are never over. The tax deadline was the other day, April 15th. But tax season is always here. There's different phases. There's tax filing season, and I say tax planning season. So you should be thinking about working on reducing your taxes all year long, not just when it's time to file.
But
what was the comment? What did Stacey D say? He said, when I was 20, I had an office fling with a 42-year-old lady, and I loved it. All right, Stacey D. All right.
See?
Okay. All right.
It's a difference when it's roles reversed. He's an adult at 20.
And that's why all your relationships failed after that, because of that 42-year-old. That's like everything failed miserably.
But why do we look at that differently? Why is it like, okay, go ahead, Stacey? Why is it a difference than if that was a girl?
I don't look at it differently.
We didn't have a 20-year-old scenario though. So what are you talking about, Jay?
No, I'm just saying we look at a man differently. It's like, yeah, go ahead, get it, Stace. Handle your handle. A girl was like, oh no, he was grooming you, shorty. No, he knew you weren't mentally ready and he got you. Like we do. If you're being honest.
I mean, there's double standards in all of it. I won't disagree with that. But
we look at it differently because we don't understand
how Stacey, nice Stacey D. Let that be
Miss Clark's freak ass. There you go, Miss Clark. You don't pull look, you don't throw your free card out. So like, nice Stacey D. Tell us your story, Miss Clark. When I was 20, I was dealing with a 56-year-old. Hey y'all. No, but I don't think people understand how dysfunctional, how difficult a man's life can be simply because of their sexual and how they treat women. The most stress in my life ever was based on a dysfunction. It wasn't work. It wasn't money. The most dysfunction I had to deal with was my relationship with women, because I was dysfunctional on how I was treating these women. And guys don't talk about that, because when you have a lot of women, you are praised. When you got a lot of options, you are praised.
You're the man.
When people know, for some reason it's a double standard. When women know you're a dog back in the day, it's almost like they were attracted to you.
Back in the day, even still now.
Yeah, I don't know about now because
I know.
Sheena said she was in her late 20s dating someone in her late 40s, but she said never again.
Well, that wasn't a good experience then.
It wasn't good for her.
Cleaned it up with the LOL at the end. Married woman dating a young boy at their job and has the child, and the husband accepts it. I know a few people with this scenario. Let's be honest. Okay.
A young boy done came in and took your family, homie. Damn.
All right, that's because Stacey is bald. Women like that. All right, cool.
I think you're trying to say bold. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Bold. I don't know. When I was 18,
Spark, being honest.
Oh, that ain't bad. When you were 18, you dated 27.
That is bad. See, it's the same thing. That's what you're saying.
That's not really bad. That's not even. That's not really bad.
Yeah, I will be
9 years.
I will be upset.
Not at 18. That ain't like 9-year difference at 18.
She almost 19.
She about to graduate high school. Trying to figure out if she want to go to school or
That's
college.
not the same as Stacey. That's not the same as Stacey from Dallas talking about he was 20 and she was 40 something. So Kamari, if we send money to Africa for the kids, is that a write-off?
So Kamari, I just donated $3,500 to Africa. I donated
it was $3,500. All right, it was $50.
It was $3,500 to Africa for these kids. Is that a write-off? That's a good question. Matter of fact, here are the kids right here. I donated to these kids in Africa to our guy BC. He's a teacher. He has 30 students and they needed their tuition paid, and it was $150 per kid. And you do the math. I took care of 22, and Lisa on the show took care of the other 8.
$50.
We got them there to tuition, $3,500 for me.
That was $50.
Shout out to you, Jen.
Thank you. See, thank you.
Is it a write-off?
Can I write that off? Can I write that off?
So it depends. Was it given to a legitimate nonprofit recognized by the IRS as a 501c3 entity?
I ain't asking no paperwork. I just
so it depends, right? It depends. But it sounds like you didn't give it to them. You gave it directly to a person So no, it would not be
unless I get a W-2 from them or something.
No, not a W-2. A W-2 is an income form, and you would have to give
W-4
it to
rather.
a 501c3 organization.
All right, so I gotta eat that. Eat that 3,500 I gave you.
But see,
listen, that's good karma though, man. Everything.
I know that's what it's about. Is the kids. Yeah.
He only did because he wanted to tell everybody on the show. There was a guy allegedly providing substances, and he had all the young girls turned out. Nobody said anything. Okay, all right, yeah, that was them good old 90s. I don't know what goes on
What's
now.
the whisper song? Olivia, Lost and Turned Out.
Every time you go to the barbershop, the older man would say, "How many girlfriends you got?" Yup. My answer was 0. Laugh out loud. Enjoying the show. Got to go back and watch from the start. No, still rocks. That was the thing.
You rewind YouTube. Yes.
The more
and if you didn't have any girlfriends, they called you gay.
Yes.
Yeah, you was.
Ask me how I know.
Thunder 19 dating a 42-year-old. Okay, all right. Now we're talking. Yeah. Wow, that's criminal.
That's crazy though. Double your age.
But it depends. I mean, he might have been a young 42. I don't know.
Ain't no such thing as no young 42.
Hit that like button. Them 20-year-olds.
You're a hater, Miss Clark.
Them
All right,
20-year-olds be telling me I'm young.
What?
They be like, Uncle's young.
With that 3,500 I gave him. So in Cambodia, Africa, is our $1 is $68.50 to theirs. So every dollar is a $68.50 to them. So that's how it got to be 3,500. But that's not the point, Miss Clark.
How long have I known you? I know your ass ain't giving no 3,500.
Hey.
It came through as 35 on their end. That's why I was saying it was 35.
Hey, Kamari, not only did he want to tax, he wanted to see if it could be a write-off. But this is the crazy thing. He's so cheap. He knew an extra $50 would not have changed his life in any way. But he kept it at 50. He was not giving no 100. You talking about 35. He wasn't giving 100. And he knew that $50 wasn't going to change nothing.
Mike saying all this while he gave 0. He gave nothing.
I did, because I gotta send it to you.
He gave 0.
But I'm not the one glossing and trying to floss on giving $50.
No, I was sure. No, Jeanette asked a question about the tax write-off. I did get 3,500 because that's a nice amount in Gamboni. Like I don't know if I could put that down as that amount. Gambia, Africa, G Africa. I'm gonna start saying G Africa.
Lord have mercy.
Got to get that paperwork. Every time I drop something off at Goodwill, they ask me if I want to slip. Yes, I want my signed ticket. No, that's true.
But I think you need a whole lot for the Goodwill. It has to be a certain amount, right?
We got a tax. We have a tax expert. Why are you answering the goddamn question? Samari, why are you answering the question?
If somebody goes to Goodwill and they get their slip in January, like, do they need a whole lot more for it to really work?
I don't even want to talk about that because everybody does that wrong. Everybody gets the slip from Goodwill, and somebody just writes in a number. God forbid the IRS ever comes. Most of y'all gonna lose a lot of those deductions. And by the way, most of it doesn't even matter now with the changing of the tax law. Most people don't get to write off their contributions anyway.
Oh, you can't anymore?
You can. It's a technicality. And if you want me to bore the listeners talking to them about itemized deductions versus standard deductions, I can, but I don't think the people want to hear about that.
But you know what? Jay Black's going to answer the question anyway. Go ahead, Jay Black. Break it down.
I got the answers. It ain't going to be, you ain't donating that much throughout the year for it to have an indent. So just do it from the heart. Boom.
But to be surprised, I do have some clients who every time they get paid, they tithe over 10% of their money. So they will give thousands of dollars every year to their church or the religious institution.
Now,
and they do get to write it off.
They do get to write it off. And they actually get a significant benefit, would you say?
I wouldn't say significant, but they do get a benefit.
I took it too far, my bad. He was 13 years older than me. I was 26. One day said he wished he had met me when I was 19. That was weird. Wow, that was, whoa, wait, hold up.
He wanted to build a life with you. That's all. That's all.
He said
to make sure she was legal.
What the? He said he would. Yeah, that was weird. $50 equals $3,500 in Africa. Yeah, it does.
Yes. $68.50 for every one of our dollars.
Oh, 0 equals 35 in Africa. Oh, yeah. He's trying to let you know 0 equals
country in Africa.
And I'm not going to say the name again because they got
but Africa has 54 countries. Each of them but not each of them, but a lot of them have different currencies. So Africa is not a country, people.
It's a continent.
It's a continent.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying.
They taught y'all that in school. Come on now.
Combining words, Miss Sean. He been trying to kill y'all with I get 3,500.
That's what my invoice said that.
Lying ass.
My invoice when I paid it.
Later, say have a good one.
Lying ass.
Lying ass bastard. I will say this. Financial Rebel did handle my extension. I don't even know why I filed. I'm so irresponsible. There was no reason to file for extension because literally I know this is gonna be easy when I go to him. He's gonna be like, "Why'd you file for extension for this? We did this in 15 minutes." But he did file the extension for me. It was easy. They took me to is it a portal that you actually have?
I have a portal, yeah.
So it takes you to a portal. Very simple work. If they wanna get in touch with you to do the taxes, if they file for their extension already.
Yep. Go to PhillyTaxTeam.com, schedule a discovery appointment, and we can talk from there.
And I do have a question. If you did owe money, let's say you were on a payment plan,
okay,
and you owed money, and you missed the cutoff date for taxes to do your taxes, what actually happens?
So you have about 90 days to pay it before interest starts accruing. But what I would say is what happens is people don't file, and that's the ending or the beginning of the ending. So go ahead and file, even if you missed the deadline. File as soon as possible. If you do owe, try to get on the installment plan if you can't afford to pay it all off. But you want to address it up front. Don't delay. Don't run from it because it ain't going nowhere. So I would say, address it as well. ASAP.
So, because I always wondered, was there a penalty that they tax on for you filing late if you don't file for an extension? Is there? I always, in my mind, I was like, there was a number.
So if you owe and you don't file or you file late, yes, there is what's called a late filing penalty, and it's based on how much you owe. There's a percentage on how much you owe, and then there's a penalty, and then there's interest.
So when you did the extension for me, was I supposed to receive something? I mean, obviously I trust you, but if somebody, am I supposed to receive a receipt or an email?
There's a form. You'll get it in your portal soon up. I took a day off because I was swamped.
No, you're good. No, I just want to know for people who are having other people do taxes, because everybody and their mom does taxes right now.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should get a form. All my real estate investors are asking me about that form now because they have to show it to their insurance, their bankers, and things like that to make sure they don't get any trouble.
All right, there it is. PhillyTaxTeam.com. Philly Tax Team. Listen,
nice website too.
This is Kamari's fault.
He has black people on the website. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
God damn, Jay, you're.
No, I'm sorry. Go.
Why would you?
No, this is a dope website.
Who does that?
Jay, here's a question. If the black person was on there, would you say it was a dope website?
No, I think it'll probably you gotta have a biracial.
And I don't have a problem having a black person on there. I never changed it. It was done.
Sometimes I just say what I be thinking, Mike. My bad.
No, but you know what? It's so funny. Last night I actually talked about that because, and not trying to get deep, but there are a lot of people who are in business. When they say you're black, you shouldn't let the world know you're black. I don't subscribe to that, right? Because they feel white people will get more acceptance because this is America. One more time for that.
We do have we do have a question from Ash. Ash said, "I need to adjust my W-4. They aren't taking enough taxes out of my pay. That's why I owe." Ooh. So do you just go to your employer and you just change it?
So you can do one or two things. You can literally go to the IRS website or Google and just type in W-4. You can go and fill it out. But Ash, I would look at your paycheck, see how many withholdings you might be having, and then work backwards from there. If you need help with it, just hit me up. I got you.
And what I was saying was, it's Financial Rebel's fault that we don't ask a lot of tax questions. If he didn't have a goddamn personality and he didn't have opinions that spark conversations, if all he knew was taxes, then the only reason we'd have here is taxes. But because we like his opinions and we like the stuff that he brings to the show. That's what happens. It's the gift and the
like
curse.
a low key. That's like a low key compliment, right, Mike?
No, that's a high compliment because we would just call you during tax season. I want to have you on the show all the time because when I play the clips, you listen to them. Unlike us. I don't know who I'm talking about.
Cypher, I don't know if this is a real question or not. Is that a real question for Kamari?
If me,
a lot of people do that. A lot of people
my
do that.
brother get our portion of our.
I don't even know what Gold's house is.
Gold's house? Can we file for what we had to pay the lawyer?
So I'm guessing Cypher and his brother got an investment property together. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Just go with that assumption. Yeah.
An investment property, and you're running it out. Yes, you can do it. You can write off what you paid the lawyers for getting everything set up. Yes, you can do that.
All right, good. We're done. All right, man. All right, this has been great as usual.
Oh, I didn't even see what time it was. I'm sitting there playing around. All right.
Yeah, you got here late. I mean, you always get here late.
Tomorrow's gonna be Dr. Aaron Smith. We got him locked in for Friday. So Dr. Aaron Smith, Professor Aaron Smith.
Professor Aaron Smith. So he'll be on here tomorrow. Make sure you get ready, because that's when we just fall back and just let him go. I'm gonna have to get some topics that are fun for him, so he can get as animated with some fun stuff. But we're gonna let him do his work. We're gonna let him
ask him about Carmelo Anthony. You can ask him about that case.
Thunder. Damn, it's the end of the show. I know it's off topic, but did y'all hear NPR The Power is out again? Yes, I do. Yes.
Really? Shit, that's
the whole island is black. What 90s group he from?
I mean, that's a double entendre.
Lights out. And my prayers go out to my island because there are family members there who are going through it, and there's some corruption going on with that power, and I don't know any details on it, but it's almost like even I follow some people who live in Puerto Rico on TikTok, and I follow some people who live in Puerto Rico on Instagram, and it was like, and they were basically like, here we go again. And I don't know the depths. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's some type of corruption going on, but our prayers go out to them.
So
our prayers go out to everybody.
If you had a vacation plan there,
nobody cares about the vacation. We're talking about the people who live there every day.
Every day, B.
Every day. The people who actually live there and who have created that island that they're
but you know what I'm saying? But people do
white
vacation
folks that are trying to steal the island, who are literally trying to own the water, who are telling people that they can't swim in the stream that goes past their shore, technically shore house by the stream, and they're literally trying to say they own the water. Yeah, it's a whole nother subject. So
sounds about white.
Yes,
about white.
That's absolutely right. Love me for who I am, not who you want me to be, because I can never be that. Understand there's only one thing in life that's guaranteed: it will end. So enjoy every minute, every second. You fight for everything in your life, fight for your happiness, and never let anyone, anything, or any circumstance take it from you. From Michael Sean, Jay Black, Financial Rebel, for Sexy Mo, for C Chung, for Lady Q, WokeUpInspired.com. Get all your merch. WokeUpInspired.com.
Free shipping.
T-shirts, free shipping. You can also customize things. You just got to get in touch with them. From Amani, her segment every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Here's the thing. I have to Financial Rebel, and tomorrow, Dr. Aaron Smith. We are gone.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts.